This comes from our friend Rich Cimini, who covers the Jets for us at ESPN, and he wrote this: the Zach Wilson hype train is speeding toward the draft, and the biggest beneficiary is the Jets. Wilson's soaring popularity has increased the value of the number 2 overall pick, and the Jets have done their part by maintaining a poker face. General Manager Joe Douglas could have a winning lottery ticket on his hand, and I will preface our conversation here by saying that Dan Orlovsky and Mike Tannenbaum have been going back and forth about this in our email chain, and so I look forward to hearing the actual conversation. So Dan, as you look at it, the Jets, this is the decision they have to make, and the compensation they could get for that number 2 pick is a big factor in how they make this decision. So Dan, what should they do?
Greeny, I think that they should trade that pick and keep Sam Darnold right now. Here's the question the Jets have to ask themselves, and Joe Douglas has to ask himself. What is more likelier, that you draft Zach Wilson with the number 2 pick and he becomes Patrick Mahomes, or you keep Sam Darnold, you trade that pick to somebody like Carolina, they move up, they give you their first rounder this year, they give you a first rounder next year, and all of a sudden you got 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years. And you hit on most of those picks, and all of a sudden you become good. Look at the last 15 years of taking quarterbacks in the top 5 overall. I think 4 of the quarterbacks have become good players. Cam Newton, Matthew Stafford, Matt Ryan, and Andrew Luck. Everyone else has become a disappointment, or they're a TBD. And I know everyone continues to say, and I know Mike T's well, you got to take Zach Wilson. Dude, you stink as an organization. You're not good. Just because you get a good quarterback doesn't mean you're going to become a good organization. Good quarterbacks can't become really good quarterbacks if the rest of the roster is bad. And I'm looking at it if you are confident as a general manager, and Joe Douglas believes that he's a good general manager, give me the picks. Give me the picks. I want to build a good football team and then go get my quarterback, because I'll never know if Zach Wilson's good. We're not going to be good enough to figure that out.
What do you think, Mike T?
Totally different. Zach Wilson is going to be a great quarterback. And I want to bring into this conversation, I've had the great fortune of working for really good defensive head coaches: Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick, Eric Mangini, Rex Ryan, and 100% of the time, they acquire offensive players they struggle defending. Sean McDermott has already answered the question for us, Dan. He drafted Josh Allen, a big mobile quarterback who he has presumably struggled defending in his career. So if I'm Sean McDermott and I have to face the Jets, do I hope the Jets have Sam Darnold or Zach Wilson? Clearly, by what he's done, he would struggle defending Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's upside is much greater. I agree with your point that Sam Darnold hasn't had a lot to work with, but with multiple first-round picks this year and next year, get the quarterback that gives you a chance to be great, somebody that could compete with Josh Allen. I don't think Sam Darnold's ceiling will ever get there.
Go ahead, Dan.
And here's my dispute with Josh Allen. The Bills were a playoff team. That's why it made sense to go get Josh Allen, because the team was built to support the development of the quarterback. That quarterback that we all thought or meant really good was given the opportunity to become really good because the team was built that way. I'll go back to this. Name me the last organization in the NFL with the top 5 pick at quarterback that organization flipped from being a bad team and a bad organization to becoming a good team and a good organization. Name me the last one. Cam Newton was the only one that we thought was trending that way. Baker Mayfield maybe is becoming that. It's just impossible to do.
Go ahead, Mike.
Dan, we did it. We did that in 2009. We drafted Mark Sanchez with the 5th pick, and he led us to 4 road playoff wins and 2 AFC championship games. So we did it. And the other thing I would say is Josh Allen helped Buffalo get to the playoffs. They were not a playoff team without him. And we're not even talking about the economics here, which is Zach Wilson would be roughly about $36 million over 4 years. With Sam Darnold, are we ready to guarantee fully $20 to $25 million next year on his 5th-year option? So when we bring in the economics and we bring in the impact of what Josh Allen's done, I think Zach Wilson's ceiling is much higher than Sam Darnold's.
The reason this is so important...
Weren't you guys
Go ahead, Dan.
Go ahead, Greeny.
Well, I was just going to say, the reason this is so important to everyone, regardless of what team you root for, is that this is the entire top of the draft. We all know what's happening, number 1 in this draft. It's Trevor Lawrence is going number 1 to Jacksonville. This is where it happens. The Jets will make the decision either to take Zach Wilson or trade the pick. Dan, go ahead. Final thought.
Yeah, I mean, in 2008, Mike T, you guys were like 8-8. You guys weren't a terrible football team. So like Mark stepped into a situation that wasn't brutal. The reason why this is a brutally difficult decision for Joe Douglas, because if you take Zach Wilson and he becomes okay, and you trade Sam Darnold and he becomes Ryan Tannehill, you're fired. And if you keep Sam Darnold and don't take Zach Wilson and he becomes Patrick Mahomes, you're fired. So that's why, like, I don't envy this decision, but I'm just sitting here saying, like, we've got to stop thinking that you just get the quarterback and it fixes everything.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.